We're continuing to build our own personal visual language today, this time by noticing patterns and rhythm, both outside that we can see and inside that we can feel. Hey Trailblazer, it's Kelly. Welcome back to Crooked Path Studios, where we use art as a rehearsal for the uncertainty of chronic illness. Today, we'll be working with controlled, repeatable marks by making stamps from found objects. These are things you can find around your home. Packaging is a great one. Old corks, caps, buttons, anything that you can hold in your hand, dip into some paint, and make a mark with repeatedly, and it'll make the same mark. You may even want to look at an old potato masher. We're not trying to complete a finished artwork here. What we're doing, in fact, is making collage fodder, pieces that we can rip up and use in collage later, because we're going to be starting some collage very soon. The focus is simply on noticing which patterns and rhythms feel natural to us, that make us happy or smile or curious. Starting to think about what those internal rhythms might look like visually as well, and really allowing that personal visual language to begin to emerge. I decided to do bilateral drawing today for our check-in, and we're just going to do one, not the whole series of 3. So we're just going to do one, but I thought this is the best way to check in with our own internal rhythms. What I want you to do today is think about a place that makes you happy, and really think about seeing it in your mind and what color it might be, and then pick that color, and then we're going to get started. So just take a moment, take in the deepest breath you've had all day, close your eyes. Think about that place that makes you really happy. What color comes to mind? And then select that color and select one other color so that you have 2 drawing instruments, 1 in each hand. And we'll get started. And take a moment to just look at the shapes that you've made. So I've got a lot of circles, and this sort of back and forth motion that made sort of a sawtooth, which I think is interesting. Slanting, but oh well. Let's see, maybe I need to do one more there. Okay, there's that. Now we have talked a little bit about how repetition and patterns are the easiest way that rhythm emerges. And repetition can be a color, a shape, line, or texture just appearing again and again in a piece. Or visually in what we see during the day too. These patterns make our eyes begin to move differently across the piece, and they help guide our eyes around the piece. But pattern and rhythm also affect us somatically. They give us an anchor, something predictable, and that's really important when you consider the uncertainty that comes with chronic illness. You can overlap stamps and see what secondary shapes are created. And we did a lot of that work when we looked at shapes in this series. You can also skip some spaces, like do 3 stamps and then skip 1 and do 3 more, so that you're creating maybe a different kind of pattern. The repetition might have a different rhythm. This is the bottom of a sprouts container. So I think it had broccoli sprouts or something in it. And it did not hold together. Shoot, it just came unglued. Alrighty, well, we'll do this. Make it work for right now, and then I'll figure out what glue it needs to be permanent. The glue I used clearly was not the answer. But this is looking okay. I've been trying to find my own rhythm lately because my daily rhythm changed when I closed my consulting business. I used to start my day with emails and follow-ups, then slide into the actual client work. All of that was done on the computer in my office. But with Crooked Path Studios, I want my days to start in the studio. That's where my heart wants to go. But my brain is having trouble shifting gears. It keeps taking me into the office. It wants the predictability and comfort of the past. And it's hard to balance the studio time with the computer work for this particular business. From setting up a website, getting the YouTube channel set up, to developing the creative practices and editing and writing the posts that go with them for Substack. There is both computer work and studio work that needs to be done, but my brain has not clicked into doing the studio work first thing in the morning. Not all good. So let's try. It's working. All right. This part, the stamping, can feel repetitive. Sometimes that's calming, and sometimes it gets me excited about what I can do with these papers. Like my mind already starts running ahead to create something else. If your mind starts wandering, that's not a problem. That's your default mode network taking over. If it's a creative idea, make sure you write it down so you don't forget. Repetition plays an important role here. Visually, repeating a visual element creates rhythm and structure. And for the nervous system, repetition can be very settling and grounding. It reduces decision making and supports a sense of predictability and calm. So when you're done stamping, go ahead and lay your papers on the floor. Maybe you've already done that to help them dry, but lay them on the floor and take a look at them and ask yourself, which one of these shapes is really making me happy or curious? Which one am I really drawn to? And is that shape an organic shape, or is it a geometric shape? Or maybe it's a combination of both. And then think about what happened internally for you as you were doing the stamping. As you went on and repeated the different shapes, how did your body reset its own rhythm? And look at your pages and determine, how did these change as I continued to repeat that shape? Were there small variations? And what do you like about that or not? How might that expand your own visual language with those different variations that you had no control over? They just happened. And then determine which of these shapes you really want to return to another day, and maybe start making more of them and incorporating that into future collages or other work that you might be doing. Practices like this don't fix the systems that are exhausting us, but they do give us some place to land when we're feeling overwhelmed by those systems. Let's do our checkout. I want you to think about that happy place again that you thought of during the check-in. And take a moment, take a breath, see that happy place, feel that happy place. What colors come to mind now? And what shapes come to mind now? And let's go ahead and draw those internal rhythms and shapes that we're seeing and feeling with our happy place now that we've finished our for stamping. So let's go ahead and do another bilateral drawing based on this new internal rhythm we have after completing our stamps. And I have changed colors to pink and red. Red pencil needs to be sharpened, but we're just going to keep on going. All right. So mine are now all circles. There are no sawtooth in there anymore. I hope this practice has been fun for you today, but I also hope that it has helped you recognize and see some of your own internal rhythms and how you might want to start understanding those. Repetition is one of the best ways to start creating our own visual language and how it really begins, because our hands and our body start to show us what they want to return to without our head getting in the way. The papers and pages you made today will become part of other projects. But I do invite you to take one of the papers that you made that you really love and hang it up someplace that you can see it. Being able to look at our own creativity and our own rhythm is very grounding and helpful. And so I encourage you to hang it up. Not only that, but if it brings you joy, why shouldn't you be looking at it all the time?